Hello guys, it's Kubi, Friday morning, Bangkok time. Today we'll talk a few minutes about last updates in DeFi space, and we'll cover three topics. First of all is Yearn.Finance. It is called Bitcoin of DeFi, and we'll talk why it's called that way, especially because of its token. We'll talk about the fresh updates in Synthetix networks and the next step in decentralization of this protocol. And we'll talk also about the new release of the second version of Augur protocol, the centralized prediction market. And maybe I will start with this subject. Augur is one of the oldest hardcore DeFi projects. It did its ICO before it was trendy. I think it was 2016. And they released the first version of the protocol around 2 years ago in the summer 2018. And what it is, Augur. Augur is a decentralized prediction market. It sounds very complicated, but in common sense, it's decentralized betting platform. It means everyone can create a bet about anything you want, and everyone can take part in this bet. So it can be like betting on sport events, like elections, or also about some trends, behaviors, or the price of financial assets or crypto. So it is very interesting, and this is the niche when decentralized is quite critical, because we have like a lot of betting platforms that are very common in many countries. In others, they are not, because they are forbidden. They are not allowed by the government, or in some countries like mine home country, Poland, some betting platforms are allowed if they buy a license in Poland. If not, they are cut off the internet. So decentralization means everyone can participate in this prediction market, can create market for each event, for each bet, and also take part in it. And also it can validate the bet. It means that in normal betting platforms, there's a bookmaker who is saying what was the result of the event. We don't have this in Augur, and Augur also doesn't use oracles like chaining, because oracles can cover only like mainstream events. They cannot cover like everything. So in Augur, the holders of reputation token are receiving information about the result of the market. So at the beginning, there's a market about some event, let's say US election this year, and this market has ending time. At this ending time, the market is closed, you cannot bet anymore. Before that, you are betting about the future event. After that date, there are a second bet, the bet about the past event. So we had this betting, the election, and now we are resolving this market. Token holders, rep token holders, I saying what was the true. If they say, if you and they stake the tokens. If they say the correct option, they will receive the award. If they say falsely, then will lose their stake. This is how it works, simplified. And the second version of the protocol, one of the main goals was to make it easier for end user to use it. That's why from this version, you can bet with DAI, dollar stablecoin. So it is easier for normal people to use it. And then you don't have like two bets, because if you use crypto, then you have like two bets. One, the bet you take part consciously, and the second one is about the price of the crypto, because even if you win the bet and the price go down, you can lose the money. So with stablecoin is easier, it's simple, and there was like more improvement that the main goal was to make it easier for the users. So the launch of the second version was on Tuesday, 2 days ago, and there was like no big impact, no big news in the crypto space at all. Some people make reviews, and there was like not so good, mostly because of the struggle of Ethereum that is not scalable. To use Augur to create the account, you need to pay fees like few dollars or even more than $10. That for create the betting account is quite expensive. There was also some kind of other problems to create the accounts when you deposit some amount of the money, and the people said it's not easy. It's not easy. It's still struggle. It's still expensive. And of course, this is not the final version of Augur. They iterate, and they will work on another version as well. Right now, this event doesn't make like any impact on the price. Maybe I will share my screen. When you go to the CoinMarketCap, you will see that in last month, the price a little bit go up. But last days there is like no reaction for this. Even there was, even before the launch, there was price going down, but at that time most of DeFi project was going down because we had this starting Bitcoin rocket above 10,000, so everyone was going to Bitcoin and Ether, selling other altcoins, but we don't see any like price impact. Talking about price impact, let's talk about second subject of today is Yearn.Finance token, and the platform itself. It's one of interesting DeFi platforms. It's like it's wrapping other DeFi protocols and implements strategies to optimize your profit, putting your investments in many DeFi projects to optimize your earnings. So that was the main idea. The project is already on the mainnet for a few months, and it wasn't so popular. Maybe I will go back and share. It wasn't so popular. It had like, if we go to DeFi pools, it had like few $1 million liquidity, not so high. Where it is, Yearn.Finance. We see it started in March, and then like few $1 million of liquidity, and then the token was released and it was pumped to over 350 million US dollars. There was also correction there, and the liquidity locked in this project are going up again. What is interesting in this project that it was made by a single developer in his free time, and after the release, there was kind of incident in the protocol that someone lost some money because of something unpredictable behavior, and the developer, the author of say, "Come on, man, I just did it for free in my free time. You use it on your own risk. You cannot have like any warranty from me." So, and then he said, "I created a tool that make many people earn money. Something went wrong for some people, and there is a bunch of shit storm going on me. I don't want this." And he like quit, and he go back, I think, in May to work more on the project. And then in the last 2 weeks, they released a token, and this token is very cool because it's very like crypto crypto narrative, it was like fair distribution. There is This is the total supply, and not a single token was held by the creator of the protocol. All of them were distributed in 3 ways for the people that use and contribute to the protocol. There was not allocation for the creator of the protocol, so it was like Bitcoin. Satoshi didn't pre-mine any Bitcoin for himself. He participated in mining, of course, but everyone could do that, and the same was with this token. That's why it beat quite fast the community that decided to use this token for the governments, and we have governments portal when people are taking proposals and voting about improvement of the protocol. And it's super interesting. These people are really involved in the project because they feel the ownership. So that's why the token quite fast acquire a lot of value. Right now, one token is value more than $4,000. The market cap is around 1,300 million of US dollars. And there is a lot of discussions in the governments. It's very interesting space when everything is changing very fast. So I like the story. I don't have the token, I don't use the platform, but I like the story. It's like a romantic crypto story by people, for people. Decentralized distribution, fair distribution, it sounds really cool. And of course, not all people was able to participate in the distribution. They had the feeling that the train went out and they stay on the station. So there is a fork, the fork called Yearn.Finance 2. It's mostly created by Chinese community. They just fork the code for the token and start again from scratch. And there's maybe even more forks. When you are looking at this kind of forks, we need to be conscious that they are more risky than the original because we don't know what changes were implemented by the forking team, and probably this project doesn't have this like strong hardcore DeFi community that focus, of course, on money, but also on doing crazy, interesting things in DeFi space. And the last topic for today is Synthetix Networks. Synthetix, one of the most interesting project in DeFi space, but I will say DeFi in quotation mark because it's not exactly DeFi, it's quite centralized, but it is changing. We'll talk about this as well. This is the Synthetix blog, and we see that last 3 days we have like 6 blog posts, so a lot of things is happening there. They are doing updates on weekly basis. So I think this year they did more updates than all other DeFi projects combined because they are centralized, so they can develop fast. In they break things, they can fast fix it. The Augur, this is on the opposite side. It's full decentralized. The update was planned at the beginning of this year, but it was delayed like 8 months because they need to be sure that everything will work fine because there's like no pause button. So it took longer. If you want decentralization, there is more risk about any smart contracts errors, hacks, and you need to be really like sure. Synthetix are implementing new things quite fast. What is quite cool, the new release, it implements few things like limit orders for the Synthetix exchange. It means that you don't have to make a transaction at the current market price, like the Uniswap. You can specify your target price, and only if the target price will be achieved, then your order will be executed. This is something that is quite obvious on the order book based exchanges. It's quite unique on liquidity pools based automatic market makers exchanges like Uniswap. We have this option in Kyber as well, and now we have this in Synthetix. And there's like a new Synt index. It's updated index for DeFi and centralized exchanges. So index, it takes like few assets, and each asset have the weight that the change of the price of these assets influence the change of the index. So we have DeFi index with tokens like Compound, like Maker, like Kyber, Synthetix, 0x, Augur, Aver, UMA, Loopring, Bancor, and also we have centralized exchanges index with Binance, Crypto.com, OKX, Bitfinex, Huobi, FTT, and KuCoin. So if you want to invest in DeFi and you are not sure which projects you should choose, maybe the index is right for you. How to buy it? We'll talk about this in one of our webinars, free webinars about DeFi. You can subscribe to them in the link in the description. And the other big thing is progress in the decentralization of the Synthetix. I told you it was centralized project, but it is changing. They dissolved the foundation in Australia and they organized 3 DAOs that will be responsible for development and governance of the protocol itself. And what is important that this DAOs is not like direct DAO, like we have in Kyber, that people can vote with their tokens. This is something more like a directives board. We have some people, you see like multi-sig wallet 4 of 8. And these people can execute some things on the protocol. And there are also token holders that can they can cancel the executed proposals from the board, and then can also remove people from the board. So it's like step forward, but it's like not super 100% decentralization like we have in Maker, Kyber, or Compound. So, but it's step forward. So good to see that, and I hope in the long run we'll see total decentralization when everyone can vote, like in Kyber or Compound or Maker. So that's all for today. We will see next week at the same time. If you are interested more in DeFi and want to really understand what it's all about, not only which token you should buy, but also how to use these protocols, how to use DeFi to earn money, not only on the token price going up, but also by using these protocols and earning yields for you, then I will like to encourage you to subscribe for the free DeFi webinars. You will find link in the description. That's all for now. See you guys.